Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and finally I am doing a video on Skarner. That's because apparently he's so strong that Riot are deciding to nerf him. To be honest, he is strong. He has been strong for quite a while, almost in that hidden OP status, much like Poppy Jungle actually, except this time because he dominates on the higher tiers, he can dominate in pro play. They are deciding to basically nip it in the bud so that he doesn't run out of control. At the same time, it is a little bit of a shame because even though I don't really like the champion that much in terms of facing it when it's strong, it does provide you something different and unique in the jungle. Now, people have been saying if you don't like the jungle meta and sort of, you know, you're complaining that Udyr is so strong, why would you even do that purely because he adds that variety in a different playstyle? Well, the thing is, when things like Skarner and Udyr, as the rune page shows up in your screen now, are actually strong, it tends to be because they're overstatted and it's very difficult to contain them when they can just run you over, do damage, and tank everything. Skarner isn't in that category at all. That's really an Udyr thing, but as you can see, Phase Rush is the order of the day. Nimbus Cloak because we need to close the gap, more movement speed as well, Phase Rush to get in and around fights, and now the most notable thing about his kit was that shift they did last year as he goes from red to Krugs on the Q. Now it does percentage HP damage, and the more you use it, the more cooldowns you get from it. However, that is not the ganking style. That is the farming, scaling, take over the map style in terms of counter jungling and getting huge leads. Sort of think of it like your Udyr style, right? This jungler, however, is going for the classical Emax, which does have a little bit of cooldown refund put into it as well, where you can shoot it out, you get the scaling slow from 30 to 50%, and then when you auto attack someone with that mark from your E, they get stunned, which gives you a bit of cooldown refund as well. Now, we can focus on the game. Elise basically gets Leash bottom side. She decides, I'm going to go gank mid after 3 camp. This is good bits of information for the jungle. You need to be able to process this. Leaving the baby behind here, I kind of do that as well. I don't want to waste time. I want to make sure I get level 3 from my 3 camp. That extra bonus time you get from leaving it, fine, not an issue on certain junglers. The Echo here now is trading and might be in a bit of a doomed situation. Now, you're not going to have prior from this. He has to be very careful. He's got flash, repel ignored. Great. From the Skarner's perspective, you watching this, hopefully you see that Elise is flashed. You are really concerned about getting that level 6. However, if you are not going the Q-Max situation where that's really easy to do, your skirmishing becomes absolutely devastating, and you want to be more laner focused, then you can actually can't afford to basically AFK in the jungle. Now, as a side note, this video will be about how laners can be behind, the game can be in a bad state for you. How do we fix that? How do we correct it? In the early game, you need to be able to come back from a deficit when things don't go well, and then you can snowball that into your advantage. But a lot of the time, when you have, you see, E, auto attack, removes the shield, that's a stun. You don't have prio here. Azir is in the area, Elise is in the area. You will have to give this up. You do not have any choice. There's a Camille versus Viego. As I was saying, you know, if your bottom lane is feeding, if you're down 2,000-3,000 gold, it can feel really difficult to play as a jungler, especially one that wants to gank. However, restraint and smart pathing will get you back into it. So, let's see how we do it. And that's how we do it with Skarner. Now, you can push over the crab. What you can do here, we have Echo is going back to base. He's not in the area. You know she's going to double crab you. You know she basically 3 camps showed here. 12 CS, no red. Goes to this section. Shows up again, 16 CS with a red buff. You give her the crab, that's 20 CS, jungle tracking, very basic. Now you know she's going to go to the bottom side. Your bottom lane does have prio, but you don't have mid, so you will be outnumbered, you cannot fight it. What's the best solution for us then? Hopefully you're already thinking about this in your mind. Grump. We do the Grump. We like the Grump. Much like we like the stock, we like the Grump. Your bottom lane then dies, okay? They get one back because Kaiser's strong. When this happens, usually people are feeling some kind of Shakespearean level tragedy fall over their mental capabilities of staying focused. Don't let it. And lane is at the same time like, oh, we can't affect the map before level 10 minutes. No, you can. You can affect the map. You just have to choose to. You have to understand that you're going to gain and lose advantages when you do so, right? So, the Azir matches the TP, which is most notable, right? And then the fight goes south the whole way. So your Echo decided to try and make a play. The Azir matched it immediately, looking at using his F keys, and basically, in the end, not great for you guys. However, for the Skarner, very nice, because... you know, gotta take it. You gotta take it. And the thing is, right, you have to take it in the next patch because the experience from farming is going down. I made a video about that on the main channel. The taxation of the trade routes in accordance with the Imperial Code... No. You know, you're not going out of your way to tax. I'm just saying if you have waves to hold, waves to push, and lanes to gank, it's gonna pay off way better than AFK farming. Now, because we were tracking the Elise earlier, as I said, we know the Raptors are up. We can go snipe those away. Yes, it is a job in support, and it's with the Samira. Thank goodness she has been gutted, although some people are saying she'll still be playable. We'll have to wait and see. You've got your Raptors taken there. Elise is going to be resetting. It's unlikely Elise sticks around to handle these camps, purely because she's cut off. Gragas is still in the area. Echo is back here. She doesn't know where you are exactly. We can slap this down. No ways she knows exactly where you are. So she falls back to her jungle. From a Skarner point of view, this is absolutely fine. We're looking for prime level 6 real estate. So, tier 2 wolves. We can snipe on down there. Tier 2 raptors. We've got our little shrines of attack speed goodness. We're looking at bottom lane. Viego is topside pushing. Elise will probably reset here, and then she can either go topside again or directly down to bottom side. It's unlikely. We can see she reset. It's unlikely she passes directly bottom lane again, so you should be okay. She's already topside. So, already you see on the map here, level 4, spent a lot of time ganking, and our Skarner's already done 3 camps tier 2, and he's up by 13 CS. And he's really close to 6. So he's going to wait here in the darkness to grab a minion. Now, my only problem with this is the following. The idea is good. Bottom lane is pushing, you have this control, you have your ultimate, they're level 6. Samira still has a flash, Jarvan still has his flash. I would try to burn those. I'm not sure I would go all in knowing that those spells are up. Also, as a side note, you don't have a scanner yet. Oh, actually, he does have a scanner because it's high yellow jungling. Of course he has a scanner. Scan on your approach here, just in case. Unless you have some kind of grand communication with your bottom lane, then you duo with them and they tell you it's not warded, scan your approach because you never know. Although you can see from behavior. Sometimes, as we talk about with ganking, if you see their behavior is still aggressive, they're trying to basically win this 2v2, and there's no way in hell a jungler's level 6 at this point, haha. You know, you can tell very easily if it's warded or not. In this case, it isn't. So, Elise gets a dive on the top side, kills a Viego. That's a bit of an issue. Okay, so you would have seen from the rune set, I hope, that he has Hextech Flash. Right? He has Hextech Flash, which is going to be very interesting and fun to watch throughout the whole game. You have to be careful here. You must hit your E. Because the thing is, the E's projectile range is not too long. Yeah, it hits all enemies struck, right? So basically, if you hit this right now, you flash and you hit your E, you're looking at a free stun and a free flash. Yes, your flash is down, but your ultimate can remain. Because the E misses, that's just unfortunate mechanical mishap, you're forced to use your ultimate and you don't have a chain stun either. You get cooldown bonus from using your ult as well on that E, that refund bonus. But now, basically, you're not going to be able to do anything. She flashes. Jarvan should have to flash here as well. There you go. That's not the end of the world, because you will be able to use your ult again. It just sort of reduces the chance you actually repeat gank. Now, Elise has... Oh, hello. Right, she dove bottom lane. She suddenly shows up here with extra CS. You know your Grump would have respawned, and now it's gone. So you know she did it. There's no real reason to go upside. We're going to have a red buff. We're going to have Hextech Flash available. Our ult should be up in 74 seconds. Let's go farming. Let's get vision control, and let's observe bottom lane. And this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone complains, hey, my bot's feeding. Well, Elise and the mid laners had more impact on the bottom side. Skarner was not in position to do that because he started bottom side, sequenced up. Elise simply started bottom side as well, but made sure the double crab was in her ideology, I guess, and then went straight to the bottom lane. Here, you have to understand that your bottom lane is down 600 gold early. Substantial. Alright? If you ignore them, which Skarner is currently doing because the Raptors are not up, and Elise ganks again, alright, this has got to be anticipated. you're in a bit of a rough spot. And that's something I think the Skarner should have thought about. Because here, if you go hit this, right in this moment, you would see the Elise here. Now, you don't know she's coming right at the moment. You don't know that she's going directly for the gank. Because you know her blue is up, you know her grump will be up, and you know she would have reset off of this, or at least moved down the map from this position, right? So this is great ganking aggressiveness by the Elise, which is what you're going to need to do. She scans on her approach, like we said. No flashes, repeat ganks, absolutely easy. Is that a thing even? Absolutely easy? Very easy. And Skarner basically is forced to give that up. You're not going to lose a dragon too. Okay, he should have known the grump was gone. But he gets to take the wolves and sequence all the way down again if he wishes. He can also flex into a top lane gank, counter jungling. But I feel like this is a bad move. Purely because you know that bottom lane has no flash. Samira hasn't quite hit level 6 yet. Okay, should hit level 6 now. Or at least be very close to it. Your bottom lane is suffering. So let's go and use our ultimate again. We can wait for them. We can farm. The key thing is... See? It's funny. If you struggle with mobility and you're not Udyr or Viego, Hextech Flash. Get over walls that you didn't think you could. Nice ad for that rune. Echo's doing things in the mid lane. Tie it up with your bottom lane. Gragas is going to roam at the moment. Not much more to say about it. Good. Vision control. And here we go. This is it. This is it. This is it. You're down 2,000 gold. There's a 4-0-0 Samira. Yeah, she's down 7 CS. It's not really... That's a saving grace in this moment. The fact that you have a Kai'Sa who's very fed, and the fact that it's Kai'Sa who's CSing reasonably well. Use the lane gank. If your bottom lane is being inted, or ganked, or spammed, or just unlucky things are happening, don't ignore them. Don't do what other junglers are doing. They see the Elise bottom side, they go, okay, I'll gank top lane, I'll count on jungle. They got the dragon, and there's a 4-0-0 Samira. You just burnt their flashes. You did something on bottom lane. You made a deposit. Let's go back and see how our investment is developing. And in this case, it should be very good. Scan the bushes. This is just not done enough. They can bait it out very easily. And now they don't know where you are. You can flash with Nimbus Cloak, Hextech Flash. You get the stun. You get the ult. Boom. She's dead. Give the shutdown. 700 gold to your Kai'Sa. Now, a lot of you are going to think, listen, at this moment, Elise is going to the Herald. We can see that. Don't need to be a genius. Any jungler worth the salt is currently looking to do this Herald, especially and Elise, purely because she will be outscaled by something like a Skarner in terms of experience. He farms faster, even without Emax. She's going for the dive, isn't she? Manaless mid laner with a wave crashing. That's not on the jungler. I will not put that on Skarner. He's just doing his business. The fact that they kill each other here is fine, but the most important thing about the funding of the Kai'Sa here is not only did you give a shutdown, she gets a plate here, I hope. She gets the plate. 160. So, because of your presence bottom lane, she's got almost 1,000 gold swing on the Samira. And she's up a level now, despite the fact that she was ganked earlier. Alright? Elise is on this 100%. You don't have a mid laner. I don't think we should go ahead and probe this. I think we should hit the plant. We should see what's going on. But I don't think this is necessarily... He's aggressive. I would hit this first. Hit this first, I think. Just to see, because you know the Azir is going to be in the area. And you know the Camille, even though she is a very strong champion, Viego can hold his own, especially if he gets those resets on the ult. Through the souls. I mean, he's going for the smite steal, which is great, but you know you might die. The eyeball. And the Azir is right here. Alright, so it doesn't show up, but the red team got it. And now you 3v1 collapse. And in your games, in your low elo games, this is not going to be good for you. Trust me, this isn't good for you. This causes mental pain because your top lane is thinking, Destiny. You know, he's got to eat these minions. He doesn't care anything about your Herald, right? Your Gragas is rolling because he sees some food. Mid lane is finally arriving, but he's down 2 levels. Objectively, this is not a good fight. If you stole it and got it, it's worth, right? That's a little bit results-based thinking, but you have to basically say, if I go in and take it, and I secure it, and I die, good. If I go in and try and take it and I die, what do we lose? You know? Sure, but at the same time, you're giving them 3 plates and a shutdown. You could have easily taken a ganking route here, just go kill the Camille. You know, if you have ult, go kill the Camille. Or you can sequence down again and just repeat gank bottom lane and give this up. However, you burn ults, okay? You get stuns, and then Virkayu says, you know what? I am a champion. But not only am I a champion, I'm all champions. It pays off because the top laner rotated. But too many times I've seen people try to make these plays in lower, mid-elos, even in low diamond, and no one rotates, no one has the awareness to collapse, and basically it's just a huge throw. Especially if only one person rotates and you're still outnumbered and you still die. So, in the end, this was good purely because of Virkayu rotated, but I don't like the principle of the play if you don't know what's going to happen. So, choose your coin if you're going to flip it, but understand that the potential downsides here are significantly higher than the upsides. The fact that you got the rotation is nice. Now, we don't want to farm, okay? We're maxing E. We want to make sure we try to get that second dragon. The gold is equal now, so that early, horrific beginning has been nullified, but we still need to get everyone to get ahead now. That's the step, right? We've equalized it, but we need to get ahead. And the lane you're ganking is bottom lane. Good job. We have flash up, we have ult up. Let's suppress her. You're gonna have your E up again should you need it. Boom. And it's that easy. Now, at least in the meantime, instead of doing what she was doing well earlier on, we can even have a look here because she died at the Herald. Alright. Well, the fact that she died to the Herald is actually the problem here. She's dead. So you can make this play. And that's the important note. The Elise isn't on the field. And you're a level ahead. You have tempo advantage over her now because the Virkayu bailed you out of that aggressive decision. Which means she doesn't get there in time. If you die here, right, and no one rotates, and the Elise survives, you will lose plates, you will lose a tempo here because she'll take this part of your jungle, and she will gank bot before you can. So I'm just sort of outweighing the positives and negatives, the ifs and the ors and the buts, when you try and make those Herald plays. But when it does happen, make sure you recognize the window of opportunity. And that's what people don't do. Something good happens for their team, you know, they force a play, everyone reacts and they make the right moves, and they don't see that window of opportunity, and then they complain that the bottom lane is facing a 4-0-0 Samira, who's now 6-0-0, and they didn't lane gank, they didn't gank to burn the flashes before that, they didn't gank a third time, they don't have any farm control, and they can say, well, I counter jungled the Raptors. Yeah, but counter jungling the Raptors doesn't get your Kai'Sa to be fed. And she's got now a serrated Dirk over the Samira. And that's huge. You know, that's 1100 gold well spent. Also worth noting, against team comes with shield, especially shield bow, like if you have a Graves with a shield and you got a Seraphine, you got a Camille, you can go that Serpent's Fang. That's huge for anti-shielding. At least ganks mid lane, it is what it is. We're farming now. I don't have an issue in principle with sequencing here, because your advantages are gained and accrued through the fact that you can farm more. But we do have to recognize that they have the Herald used already, actually. But we do have the Elise going to try and make some pressure moves now in order to let the game flow back in her direction. Azia's moving down, so I don't think... Elise is also moving down. I sympathize. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You're going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my elo, the ADCs will feed anyway. Yes, but your junglers and mid laners and supports won't be goon squatting bottom lane yet again. Secondly, the counterpoint to that is, listen, if everyone is just stat checking each other in your elo, whatever that may be, if you feel like everyone just stat checks each other, why not create a scenario where your Kai'Sa just has more stats? So she can do things like this even by accident. If she's behind, then not only does she get outstatted and killed here, but you also can't do anything about it. And if you're Skarner, you have to understand the 0-1-6 is the kind of KDA you want. You are going chem tank turbo moves into... Nice TB from the Virkayu. See? This is all enabled. This is all enabled by your play. Sure, the Virkayu is his own human being and he made these plays at the Herald and this TP, but it's enabled because of the action that the Skarner has presented on the map. And that's where junglers don't understand their control. It's not always in the numbers, it's in the effect of your jungling that isn't measurable by data always. I think that's a really core takeaway. I hope people understand what I mean by that. I also want to address briefly the build. We're in the turbo chem tank, hardcore tank meta. The rush of the Ionian Boots of Lucidity is something that's very common. Here we go. Boom! I like that. It's just so neat. Why run around when I can just hop over every wall in existence and sneak objectives? Great. That goes on the top side here. Red buff. Krugs are up. How much gold do we have? 1,300. Okay, you want to... baited me out there. We're watching bottom lane here. We have to be very careful. Now, for the Elise, at this point, it's tough to know what her intentions are. We always say when you're jungle tracking, what does the enemy jungler want to do? She could be looking to lane gank this again, because she's down 2 levels. There's no way she catches up here. She's done 40 CS now because the Skarner's just been farming, holding waves, and ganking at the same time. Alternatively, she's just basically doing something random. We don't know exactly what her mental state is. At 13, 14, 15 minutes, that's something you have to just sort of anticipate. There's Jarvan. They're pushing up, so you would anticipate and understand that Elise could be here very easily. I don't like sitting here if you're not going to scan or control ward. Never do this unless you have any vision. Never sit still unless you 100% know it's not warded, because if you do that and they see you, that's how you give shutdowns and that's how you throw games. It happens way too much. I had this the other day. There was a one-shot something, top laner, going back to base here with jungler. And I had moved in scanning. I was a support, scanning and making sure there's no vision. My laner lost the fight before I could arrive. There's 2 of them. The high HP laner kept pushing this way, and all I did was wait 6 seconds, and then move on out, hit my plants, and this person died and I ran away. You know? But if I sat there and I didn't scan and it was warded, I die. I get 2v1 as well, and we lose entire map pressure just because I didn't scan. Same thing here. So again, if this works out, great, but I don't like the decision not to scan. Because let's see. Yeah, the Elise is here, so. She's desperate at this point. This is a desperate move. You know, gank bottom lane, die to a TP, lost a dragon, what else do you do? They don't know the Elise is here, though. There you go. And Azir shows up as well. This is just messy from everyone. Good holding of the tower, though. There's no plates, though. We need to reset now. We've got turbo chem tank. So, the Lucidity boots, did I finish my thought on that? Rushing it for the mobility in terms of movement speed, as well as the fact that you get the equivalent of 18% CDR early. I talked about it with some other videos as well. Super, super strong at the moment. For 900 gold, you get such a lot of value in the CDR for your clears, for your ults, for everything, for most of your kits. Look at this desperation, and this is the thing. Normally, your junglers are basically saying, I did a good job, go me, and you go farm the top side now thinking, you know, next objective is a second herald, maybe we can gank on the top lane, maybe we can push mid lane. The enemy team is desperate. They want to make sure this Kai'Sa doesn't exist. The Elise is out of the game. She is literally a stun bot. This is a great understanding that the red team is going to try something desperate. And the Camille is even TPing in here. And you don't have TP from the Viego, so they think, aha, we get a 5v2, 5v3. But, you know, look at this. He gets the stun, he's got the R, suppressed, and dead. Boom. E hit on the Jarvan, stun into the Echo, double stun from the Skarner, nicely done. Remember, auto-attacking gets your your Q up again. And that's game. That's it. They got desperate because of the pressure you exerted, and it wasn't, did he gank mid lane? No. Did he gank top lane? When there was literally nothing else he could do, because he was tracking, he stole a camp. But the rest of it was through good sequencing and picking the pressure moments to get the bot lane ahead. And then when this was just a good read from everyone, understanding that they have TP prior, they're really struggling right now, the game is getting out of their hands, they're going to make a dive in the bottom line. Good read. That's difficult to say, but this is when you do something. But if you're asking yourself, what does the enemy team want to do to win? More often than not, you will get a good answer to that question. Right. In terms of how you close this out now, definitely on the Herald, so we can clear very quickly. I had to rewind briefly just because the Camille roams and tries to isolate the Gragas. And the Jarvan shows up as well, but the Kai'Sa's here, although there's not much you can do. That damage though. Gragas. Hex Flash, here we go. Okay, remember that W is your shield, which scales with HP, and you also have that movement speed boost from it. So the Chem Tank build allows you to gap close. The Dark Shield something is... People are gonna look at this and think it's weird, but think of it like a Nunu, right? Nunu builds full tank. You can use that Dark Shield and Measure Eyes very easily. And for Skarner, all his abilities scale with AP. The W, E, and R specifically. So the damage that comes through is very nice. See, okay, there you see that the length of the E is quite substantial. Nice ult. Good damage from the Kai'Sa Q. Azir shows up. You must disengage now. Wait for the Viego. And now we can look to turn. Gragas is up again. So that's a good pick from the red team. You know you have the numbers advantage, so... Good pick. Nothing else you can do in that moment exactly. There's a dragon spawning very soon. I feel like this is where things can get ugly for teams trying to close. Like, you're 3 levels up on the Elise now. So we're on the Herald. You're going to feel that pressure. You know, I'm doing this. Should I have gone to Dragon? You don't have numbers. You know, Kai'Sa needed to reset. Someone got picked off. You don't have the opportunity to set this up. Especially that the enemy team does. There would be more in unison in terms of their setup. You guys are quite disjointed now. The objective on the map that's free, that will help you win, is this Herald. So what we do is we snag that, right? Da-da-da-da. And now you go back to base. You have to give this. Don't die over it. You know, what we want to do here is look for a huge fight with our current spike, given that we're most likely substantially ahead. You can feel that in game, surely. Gragas is going to reset. No, okay, good, he stays. So we activate the Herald here. This is an interesting usage, because what you want to do is sort of fight, get a wave, use a Herald, end the game. Let's observe. We get the stun from the Fat Man. R onto the Elise, which means she's dead. Jarvan goes dunking. Dinosaurs have PTSD. He dies anyway though. Retribution for the dinosaurs. They clean up the random collapse for the Camille. The Herald shows up anyway. Good job. Thank you, Void Beetle. And now you can dive, push, and I think probably win at this point. I mean, the Kai'Sa is so fed. The Viego is so juiced. Even though he's only 3-1. It freaks me out every time. I hate that. Can we just keep Viego's items here? And then it's Viego. I don't need to see that he's a Zia on the scoreboard. I want to look at the Viego items. I was going to say, he's AP all of a sudden. W max Viego. No. But I mean, this is not going to be as easy. I understand that, right? I understand that you're not going to say, well, I'm down 3,000 gold. Everyone's throwing hissy fit. All I'm saying is, this is peak performance when you are down 2,000 to 3,000 gold early and you have a bottom lane that's subject to the abuse from a Samira who's 4-0-0. It's within your control to understand the map mobility. Oh, the map reading and the sort of moves you need to make to get down there, to give her the shutdown, to give her isolated plates, which you got a few of the Kai'Sa, and then to translate that to Heralds and Dragons. You did get lucky with the Viego, but otherwise it was a very measured performance. The Elise got out-tempoed entirely because of the farming ganking cadence from the Skarner. The phase rush was huge. Turbo Chem Tank Measure Eyes with Ionian Boots. It's all you really need to end the game by 20 minutes. Good vision control. And you see how easy it can be. Just keep your mind set on the right things in game, alright? Keep your mind set on how do I get them back in, and it's not by counter jungling. It's by doing something about the lane and translating that to great understanding of what the enemy jungler wants to do and what you want to do. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you were able to enjoy and learn something. Please do check out the video on the main channel if you're concerned about the jungle changes. Don't be concerned. And yeah, that's about it. So, as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.